Lewisham published its first cycle strategy in 2017. Before that, it followed GLC and GLA guidelines, which were a window dressing exercise. Wisely, when it came to developing its own strategy, the Council entrusted the work to a consultancy which has both transport engineering and landscape architecture skills. The main feature of the strategy is the Lewisham Spine. It runs from the borough's southern boundary to join TfL's planned cycle superhighway 4 near the Thames. And it uses the route of one of the main cycle flows in Lewisham. The spine is planned to be of at least superhighway standard, and it could be even better, because it's linked to Healthy Streets objectives, and includes a street redesign proposal. Excellent. But there are a few problems. First, the spine is described as unfunded and is not scheduled to be built until 2025, when many of us may be dead. Second, the spine is the borough's only proposal for a superhighway standard cycleway. Apart from this, it follows TfL in relying on a discredited principle from the London cycle network era, signposting back streets and then calling them quiet ways. There is a particular need for an east-west cycle spine on the A20 between Lee and New Cross. As the Strava map shows, the A20 is at least as busy as the A21, and the busiest area is where they intersect. Third, the strategy doesn't deal with the meat-grinding junction at this intersection, known as the Lewisham Gateway. The plan for this development on part of the TfL road network was approved in 2010. Work began in 2014, and in 2018 the project was an outstanding winner of the Carbuncle Cup. This is the architecture prize given annually by Building Design magazine to the ugliest building in the United Kingdom completed in the last 12 months. Lewisham Gateway also deserves prizes for its frightful urban design, appalling street design, and criminally negligent cycle planning which ignores the known traffic flows in Lewisham. The first blocks of Lewisham Gateway were designed by PRP architects, but it's a joint project between urban regeneration specialist Muse Developments, the London Borough of Lewisham, the Mayor of London, and Transport for London, with help from the Homes and Communities Agency. Self-evidently, none of them have competence in urban landscape design. Amazingly, there is no provision for cycle access to or from the station. So those who have used a bike for the first stage of a train commute have to go round the garatory at least once a day, fearing for their lives. And when you remember how good Lewisham cycling was in 1899, it makes you cry. The aerial photographs of the Lewisham station area show that faux modernist architecture and planning wreck the urban environment. The planners should have used a landscape urbanism approach. A fourth criticism of the 2017 cycle strategy relates to its boast that for many years Lewisham has supported cycling. Codswallop. As we've seen, this part of Lewisham was more cyclist-friendly in the 1970s than it is today. Now look at figure 13 in the 27 strategy. It shows a contraflow cycle lane in Coolgate Street, and the use of this lane as a car park. As elsewhere in London, Lewisham cycle facilities are of low quality and poorly managed. The underlying problem is the so-called London Cycle Network. It was and is a fraud perpetrated on London by its first mayor. Ken Livingstone had no understanding of cycle infrastructure and couldn't ride a bike. Look at the white chinos he chose for the photo shoot. All show and no go. I have no criticism of the dedicated professional staff or cycle user groups involved with Lewisham Cycling. The problems are, first, Lewisham Council's lack of political will, and second, TfL's lack of political will to support cycling. This results in muddled policies. The superhighways are not super enough, and the quiet ways are not quiet enough. The requirements of leisure and commuter cyclists are insufficiently appreciated. So things need to change. To finish with another compliment, the good parts of Lewisham's Waterlink Way are very good, and the integration of hydrological, recreational, aesthetic and sustainable transport objectives makes it a good example of the landscape urbanism approach that should have been applied to the Lewisham Gateway. An urban landscape strategy should have preceded and mitigated the modernist architecture and brutalist highway engineering.